What's up, Facebook world, internet, YouTube, wherever you may find us here at the After Party. I've got AJ Campbell with the Whiskey Region coordinator, Tyler Smith, LP National running for secretary right now, I believe, and also Tom Campbell, Libertarian chair of Campbell County here in Tennessee, in the mountains of Tennessee. I want to thank you all three for coming on tonight. How are y'all doing today?
Doing great.
Awesome.
Well, here at the After Party, there's a lot of things to cover going on here globally. Just in our hemisphere, you don't have to go too far across the pond to, catch some craziness going on in Cuba or Haiti right now. And also within the party, we've got a new chair, right? We've got a new who was just recently elected. Tyler, you're more on the national scale than we are. Why don't you give us an update on that?
So to my knowledge, Whitney Bilyeu is now the interim chair. She is also the chairwoman of LP Texas. I'm not sure how the bylaws work for their state, but that she'll still remain that chair as well. But yeah, I think it's a good, solid choice. She's definitely a no-nonsense type of person. So I think she's going to be a good asset for the interim until we find somebody that wants to throw themselves onto the sword, as it were, and become full-time chair for the 2-year term. So
yeah, Reno's going to be interesting. Reno's going to be a good time.
I'm excited for it. I mean, I think it's a lot of people are less enthusiastic and optimistic as we are about it, but
well, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think we should be enthusiastic that we have an opportunity. I mean, like, I don't know. You just look in the past election, you had Biden and Trump, like just the worst candidates like you could think of, you know what I mean? And it looks like it's just going to get worse, or I don't know. I might be wrong. Maybe Kamala Harris will turn out to be everything the DNC wants. But I think we've got a lot of opportunities that if we just work together, we could seize upon it. But AJ, what's going on in the Whiskey Region?
In the Whiskey Region, Keith and I got to go to a reggae festival, live music, and it was kind of amazing. We had our tent set up, and Keith is actually an outdoors person, so he had, like better supplies than me, including a fan that would like mist you with water and stuff. And of course, we're on the side of a mountain, and it's a little toasty. So you see some heat exhaustion folks walking past. We're like, hey, you want to come in? Here's a water, get out of the shade. And we'd sit down there like, I'm not really political. I'm like, we're not either. Like, I really don't like the government. I was like, dude, same. We should talk. And so we passed out cards. We've gotten several likes to our pages. Even like the Warren County page, which is just the local county. They were very responsive. So that was very cool. We do have a dinner with For All coming up with Justin Cornett, of course. That'll be July 20th at Collins River Barbecue. The event's online. If you actually check that, yes, you're coming, I'll know that you're coming, not just that you're interested. 47 people that say you're interested. You're stressing me out just a little bit.
Hey, I get that. Hey, and thank you for doing the legwork on that. Thank you for doing the legwork on that. I had to like count some of like what I had going on here locally, and cut back on some of the stuff that I'd committed to. And I appreciate you putting in the legwork for All, because that's a worthy cause right there. It really is, and I think that's an interesting duo itself, in Justin and Eckel. It really is.
Yeah.
A joke about in our state circles, but it's awesome though. It's cool that they work together and get what they get done going on. Tom, what's going on in Campbell County, brother? Preach for me.
Well, Campbell County, we're just kind of getting our affiliate, having something more than just name only. We recently added a Facebook page. So just look up Libertarian Party of Campbell County TN. That'll take you there. If you'd like to reach out to me as the chair, tom.campbell at LPTN.org. That's tom.campbell, tom.campbell at LPTN.org. we want to hear from you. If you're a libertarian and you live in this great county, we want to hear from you. I'd love to hear from you. Just shoot me an email saying hello. If you're libertarian, you're libertarian enough. There's no purity tests here. So just say hello. I promise I'll say hello back. And we just want to get to know you. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get to know other libertarians. We want to know other people who share the belief that we have, that people, not politicians, make the best decisions for our families, for our lives, rather than a bureaucrat, whether they're in Jacksboro, Nashville, or Washington. So we're just looking for like-minded people so that we can come together, share ideas, and make Campbell County, the towns in Campbell County, and our state freer, fair, and enjoying more liberty than what we have now, and what we've been sold and what we've been forced to believe that we can only accept by the two old stale parties. There is a fresh alternative. It's the Libertarian Party, and I'm thrilled to be part of it.
Absolutely. You know, we're talking about elections earlier too, about the chair and how that went down. You're campaigning currently right now for secretary, right, Tyler?
Yes, sir. I am.
Yep. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm actually, my bread and butter with it is, I understand it's an administrative job, and that it's just that there's really not much I can say about it as far as who I'm running against or anything like that, because me and Karen Ann do get along. This isn't like a dirty, underhanded race like so many other inter-party races have been in the past. We actually are very kosher, as it were. But I'm really excited to hear, like, you know, what Tom's got going on over in Campbell County. AJ can vouch for me. I love to travel around and help some of these local affiliates that are trying to get off on their feet and everything like that, because that's kind of why it has motivated me to go for a national seat, is to help start providing voices for all these local affiliates, because they're the ones that have spent their money. They're the ones that have gotten exhausted. They're the ones that are traveling around and actually doing work. And, you know, certain things that, you know, we have gotten complacent on at a national level. And so it's been really exciting to be able to go travel around and help out with things like what we did in the Nashville region there not too long ago. And I'm going to Alabama later this month, August, I think. So, yeah, I'm going to August. So I'm going down there for some ballot access work. Yeah, we got a lot of things planned. Even if I don't come when Reno comes, even if I don't win, sorry, I got tongue tied. Even if I don't win, my goal and dedication and promise to the party and the membership of it is to continue doing this traveling and helping build this, helping you all out, because again, you guys are the backbone of it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Nashville was a good time. You know, I do want to tip my hat off to you and Harlow's for a clean, non-dramatic race within our party, because I'm sick of it, to be honest with you. But I mean, on a state level, I'm pretty happy that it's been kept at a minimum. I would say a minimum. What do you say, minimum there? Tennessee, I'm going to say minimum. It's been good because we're pushing forward, and I think we're growing. I think that's what we're experiencing in Tennessee. You know, I was speaking with Bootleg. I think it was last week or the week before. I can't remember. But the way he explained it was that, you know, it's just growing pains. That, you know, you have different counties popping up trying to, because I mean, again, you had Biden and Trump were your candidates, and you know, you had so many people that are like, I don't want to do this, you know, and there's still a lot of that fallout going on, you know, and it's still growing, but we just got to figure out a way, that medium to, you know, it's kind of like to what your point was about the NAP earlier. We were talking, Tom, about, you know, a litmus test or a purity test. We got to put that to the side. We got to kind of meet some of these people where they're at, you know, and it's kind of like it's kind of like I'll relate it to this way to my conservative Christian friends. And, you know, if you're watching this tonight, I love you guys. I'll see y'all in church Sunday, you know, but, you know, when we talk about church and school, and I'll hear all the time, well, they don't allow prayer in school anymore. Well, they actually do. A teacher just can't initiate it. You know, a teacher or a governing body within the school cannot initiate it. But if a part of a student body wants to lead prayer, there's nothing wrong with that. There never should be. If they are an organization within the school, they should absolutely have the opportunity to do that. Either way, that opportunity is there. It's just something to argue about. You know what I mean? It's a distraction to bigger things that's going on within education or societal things or economic or constitutional things. And it's turned into that. I see that in micro arguments in the LP on various different issues that we're just fighting each other over memes and, you know, Facebook talking points when, you know, I agree with Spike Cohen when he says it needs to be a groundwork type deal, grassroots, you know, and I feel like we missed the boat when we felt like we could meme our way into the presidency, and we're still trying to find our way out of that. Who's got something after? I know I ranted after a while for that. My bad. I didn't mean to rant like that, but I'm with 3 other really good libertarians, so I figured I could go off on a little bit of a rant.
That's what we're known for. That's like our staple in the Libertarian Party.
It really is. And the memes, you know. I think that we have a lot of brilliant minds working within the Libertarian Party, and so many of them are young. And like Gen Z that's coming up right behind us, they are amazing. And the way that their brains work and the way that they are so witty with every comeback and every argument, we're really going to have to watch ourselves, because we're the elder millennials, you know, like they're gonna overtake it, and it's beautiful to watch. My kids have probably taught me, they have definitely taught me more than I've taught them. So watching them and the memes and all the arguments and through the comments and stuff, I don't know, the points are there, the points are being made. It's just a different voice, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I'm the boomer in the group. You know, maybe, I don't know if I'm the senior statesman, or the elder, but you're right, AJ. And one of the things that the Democrats and Republicans have tried to do is they've tried to recruit, you know, at the 18 to 30 and 35 voting demographic, who are largely apathetic, who largely see no reason to get involved, because the 2 old stale parties have given them that reason. So it's kind of like the person who, I hate to use this as a horrible example, it's kind of like the person who gave you COVID now wants to bring you chicken noodle soup to make you feel better. Nobody would do that, but that's exactly what the duopoly is doing. And they're trying to reach millennials, and they're trying to reach people that we as libertarians naturally reach, because the message, it resonates, the message hits home. They get it. They understand. They see the failures. You know, and so I do see that, and I'd love to take a highlighter and highlight what you just said, because the Libertarian Party is a very welcome home and a very welcome place for anyone with a voice, for anyone who's passionate, regardless of the issue, regardless of whatever it is, unified around the idea that all people deserve all rights at all time. If that's what you believe, or whatever your special issue is, regardless of what party you come from, or whether you come from no political party, this is your new home. The Libertarian Party is where you belong. And I'm here. I won't sing it like Steve Perry could, because I can't, but we're here with open arms. Come on in and join us, because the fight for liberty is too important not to win and not to see it through.
I completely agree. And you know, we've got these brilliant minds and all of this, and we actually seem to be willing to listen to them as well. And that's
Yeah.
something that they don't seem to be finding in the Republicans, because they're all the same. They don't seem to be finding. What they do see is their inconsistencies, you know.
Yes.
That they'll say, you know, of course we'll get you these rights. This is fine. Blah, blah, blah. But they're worried about vanity causes. They're not worried about what's actually going on. The kids, they're actually in the cages, you know. Instead, let's
Right.
add on, you know, 2 more years of what, preschool? Really? I'm sorry, but that doesn't make any sense at all. Get the kids out of the cages. Quit killing brown people. Like, make the police behave, or at least take away qualified immunity so that we can make the police behave. One or the other, you know.
Just stop killing anybody, you know. And that's
Yeah.
a big debate within like messaging of addressing that is, you know, a lot of people, even within the community of Leo, recognize that we have a lot of flawed systems. Our criminal justice system is flawed, and they're on a large degree they recognize that. And I feel like that's kind of pivotal, that you got to kind of reach out to that demographic too, is that we got to have you guys vocal on this too, on cases like Breonna Taylor or any of the Blake, or, you know, the one that took place in Arizona. What was the young man in Arizona, Smith? That was your way, wasn't it?
Yeah, for the life of me, I can't remember his name. I do know that there was the Daniel Shaver shooting that happened.
Shaver, yeah.
And then there was the other one where the guy was making salsa with his girlfriend and they shot him in his own doorway. So
Schaefer, that footage was ridiculous, man.
yeah.
That was really rough to watch. You know, people talk about, you know, I'm not comparing apples to oranges or trying to compare anything, but just to clarify, this isn't like I guess you could argue historically, yeah, Jim Crow and all that, and that's a horrible part of our history. But in today, in present context, it's across the board when you talk about race, you know what I mean? And I think some police officers in Leo recognize that as well. Because, you know, I tell you, when I see this young people, we're on the topic of young people and their motives and how they differ from us, is I see a lot of young people that want to become Leo and join law enforcement have really good intentions. You know what I mean? They want to protect their communities. They want to be there. And it's a hard conversation making them realize that, you know, we've got some stuff that's backwards in our criminal justice reform that's created some issues and what we've got going on. So you got to reach that. We have to be able to message some way in the Libertarian Party to reach them, but not shun them away. But I mean, what do you think about, I mean, we could talk about all this, but how about in the Caribbean where they don't even have those choices going on? You know, I mean, what was it? The Cuban president of the council. I can't remember his name on me right now. But he's ordering the revolutionaries to meet the protesters in the street. Miguel Canel. I mean, we can joke around about Trump. I'm not a fan of Trump, dude. I mean, Trump was literally one of the reasons why I went to the Libertarian Party. That's what it forced me. And then obviously persuasion from like people like Cornette and Campbell. But like, you say what you want about Trump, he joked about the Proud Boys or whatever the comment was. You've got a leader of a nation engaging and telling the revolutionaries to go down there and just beat up the protesters. Like they cannot even do, like ordering them. Like it's not a joke. It's not left up into interpretation. He's ordering the revolutionaries to do it. I mean, I can only imagine that. I don't think that would go over well with a well-armed population, though. I don't think that would be. What do you think, Tyler?
See, this whole I've been trying to watch this debacle, like, because I don't understand why more of us in the libertarian movement here in the United States aren't, being more vocal about our support for it and everything like that. I had not heard about what you just mentioned there with Miguel. What was his name? Miguel Calon or something.
Canel, yeah, it's Miguel Diaz-Canel. Miguel
Okay.
Diaz-Canel. He's the
Yeah.
president of the council because they have I guess it's a council that runs the nation that
Right.
runs the program.
Yeah, so I hadn't heard about that. I have been watching because it's like, I think it's something we're going to see an overturn in either regime or government style of Cuba, like within the next couple of years, because there are now people in Miami that are reverse rafting across the pond, so to speak, going back to Cuba with no plan whatsoever other than to be the backup for the protesters and everything like that. So, I mean, we've got, and these are Cuban expats that live in Florida that are like, leaving their lives behind to go down and like liberate their country and everything. And it's just, we're talking about it here, which I think is phenomenal, but it's like, there's got to be, we have groups that are willing to help these out, and they do fantastic work. Like I know a few cases that I'm not sure that I'm at liberty to speak on over public airways because, the feds love that. So, but but they've done some great work, like Hispanic Libertarian Hispanic Caucus, Libertarios Españolas. There's Martha Bueno down in Florida. Like, a lot of these people are actually doing great work. Like, and I'm interested to see how, with their help, how we can come together and actually help make a difference in that country right now. Because this is prime opportunity. We've already got one here, domestic side, with the Democrats and Republicans imploding on themselves. Politically speaking, we've got a great setup to not only fix our country, but also other surrounding nations that are now going through the same kind of power shifts that we're going through. So I don't know. There's a lot of opportunities for libertarians to put their foot in the door, and I'm going to go ahead and touch on this a little bit. But the last thing I'm worried about is some swollen ego on Twitter who, doesn't know how to talk to people. I can argue with that later. There's actual shit we can get done now. So, but that's how I look at it. Like, so that's also my kind of opinion on anything caucus war related. It's just like, I don't have time to argue with the edgelords or the reactionaries. So it's like, I'm trying to get work done, and I think that's what we're all trying to do. And I think it's why it's so exhausting to the rest of us, because it's like we came to work, not try to separate the kids from fighting. So.
Yeah.
What's amazing about Cuba is that this basically, this all stemmed from a spontaneous gathering and spontaneous protests that was kind of, it didn't find its genesis in social media, but due to some of the freer markets, that they're certainly, let's not kid ourselves, they're still socialist. They still don't have a completely free market, but what Tyler just referred to, some expats coming in, bringing in cell phone technology and some of the social media technology that slipped around the control of the government there. They're now able to broadcast the fact that they're starving, that their rights are being trampled, all of the rosy things that Obama, Biden, that President Trump, and that current President Biden, and others before them, going back decades, that all of these things have really amounted to almost nothing but private industry and private individuals and just a free market doing what the market does, giving people a voice that is the single biggest catalyst for freedom and for change. And that's what we as libertarians believe. That's what we are trying to light a fire under and see take root. And but the problem is they are they're still under that heavy hand and boot of the socialist regime. The Canal is basically a military leader. So he's using the military to crack down on people who are just crying out saying, we want the ability to earn food for ourselves. We want the ability to determine our own destinies. And they don't have that. No president has done much of anything to help, even though they beat their chest and say otherwise. And to praise the system of government that they have, which some in our country want to do, to me is just mind-boggling. When you've got a literal live example, we give you, Exhibit A of what happens when you take these things to the extreme and you let them take root. These are people that are literally fighting for their lives. Okay, they're fighting to exist, just to have air to breathe, food to eat, just to be able to exist. But we're finally getting to see it because of free market forces that we as libertarians believe is the solution. And it's I want to see something done. I'm rooting the people on. I want to see the Cuban people. I'd love to see in my lifetime a free Cuba. And we're now getting to see more of what the Cuban people are and hear more of what they're saying because of principles that we believe in and have been articulating all along. Not what the politicians have claimed that they're doing or said that they're trying to do, but what free enterprise has actually done.
And I think we're also in a weird time in history too, that the free market could probably help some of the situation going on in Cuba in terms of support for the people on the ground, because I got to say, people whoever's watching this can take it however they want. But when I see a military ruler like that, dictator, that's threatening violence upon another group of people, like outright, like there's no up for discussion what he was saying. He was telling the revolutionaries to do harm to the protesters because of their opposition to his rule and them demanding him to step down. I would love to see some, maybe Academy or some of the other high class premier contractors out there do some work in Cuba, and maybe they could find some ground there, because I don't wish for violence on anybody on political means, but I definitely think those people I definitely believe those people deserve the right to protection, and the free market can provide that through somebody like Academy or Triple Canopy or whatever private sector contractor firm there's out there. Those people deserve security for their right to speak. You know what I mean? Now, do I necessarily think that America should send the 2nd Marine Division there tomorrow? No, that's not what I'm saying. But I do think there's a lot of contractors out there that could protect these protesters in a real way in the capabilities against the Cuban communist government. I put free market contractors up against communist military every day.
Absolutely.
Anybody watching that's familiar with training or whatever, you can take that however you want. There's probably a Miroslav out there that don't like what I just said, but either way, I really think those people just deserve to have the right to speak. And you see the president come out and say, revolutionaries rise up, put them down. That's not open to interpretation. That's not like you're going to dissect that. He's literally telling those people, go put them down. Like, we can't have this anymore. So, yeah, you also got the craziness going on in Haiti. The president assassinated there, right? Which was, from what I understand, was I think there was a Haiti national living in Florida that was associated with that, right? Connected to that. I don't know, a lot of craziness there. You got anything on that, Tyler?
Yeah, the person in Florida, it's a doctor, but we had an interesting conversation about this last night on the political deep dive, actually, and it bled into further conversation after the fact. But yeah, there's this doctor who they can't find any records of a medical license, or on all of the businesses are registered as inactive that he runs. Like he runs like 3 medical companies and a real estate. He's well known in Southern Florida. And I think it's Dr. Salon, I think so you say his name. But yeah, he is a Haitian American national. And then it's on top of that, we're not also completely sold that what if they just scrubbed his record? Like, like these guys are saying they're government agents and everything like that. Like, so it's a lot of weird stuff happening down there. And it's just, I made the joke earlier. Are we trying to take back over the Caribbean again? But yeah, no, there was 2 other Americans. I think one was from, I want to say Daytona. I don't know, but 2 other Haitian Americans were caught, and 26 Colombian nationals. And I don't know. It's an odd situation down there. But the guy you're mentioning, they said that he is the one that hired them to do that, so he could take and the intention was not to kill him. So somebody pulled the trigger and just got sent off the whole group, but there wasn't to kill him. It was to serve him with an arrest warrant from 2019 and hold him in detention while Dr. Salon took over as president of Haiti. And I was like, I'm not real well versed on the Haitian Constitution, but I'm almost positive they also have a succession line like we do. I don't think that's how that works. You don't arrest the president and just take his spot. It's not how that works.
I'm pretty sure you better have some muscle behind you too before you attempt a coup like that. Especially in Haiti. Like, you remember how violent they were when they took over from the French? Oh my gosh, slaughters for days. I mean, that was let them eat cake, huh? Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty wild, man. I don't know. It sounds like some craziness going on down there. AJ, what do you think about Cuba and Haiti?
Honestly, I'm not as well versed in it as y'all are, and I'm not going to pretend I am. But it is interesting. You said he was killed on accident. They were going to serve a warrant. It's weird. We have a problem with that as well. Interesting that's not just an American problem.
So many things you can see. Yeah, you can relate that to so many things. You're absolutely right.
That was
Sorry.
nasty as hell, and I'm so proud of you.
I try.
Fact check accurate.
What else we got coming up? I mean, we went through Cuba. I apologize for all the beeps on my computer. That's from the Discord. I don't know how to silence it, AJ. I can't silence.
Oh, the LPTN Discord. Oh yeah, like we're all on there now. It's constant. We will talk afterwards, and we
yeah. I don't want to go about that right now.
Not right now.
Yes.
I got to hook up though, so we will fix it because it's a lot.
It's all good. It's all good. That's cool. We can go there because I mean, here in Campbell County, we're just going to try to do more events. Me and Tom's talked about it. We're going to try to, we're going to host a virtual meeting here soon, so I'm going to go ahead and take this opportunity. Anybody from Campbell County area watching this, we're going to have a Zoom meeting here soon, kind of talk about coordinating efforts about what's coming up. We would like to eventually sponsor some type of event, once we get enough support and interest into it, we like to have a volunteerism event here in Campbell County at Cove Lake Park or somewhere mutual to where we could have that, where we just invite nonprofits, whether they're religious affiliated, non-religious, Boys and Girls Club, whoever, YMCA. I would love to get a YMCA out this way, and just, give them opportunity, maybe sponsor some food for them and get some people just to interact with them. But we're going to hunker down here. I mean, we're going to obviously, I know Tom is working hard on making sure to keep the affiliate here in Campbell County protected and all that may go down. But it's really a matter of outreach in these rural areas, because that's the thing about Tennessee is that when you look at it, Memphis, Nashville, and Knoxville, and you can throw in Chattanooga there, and probably like Johnson City too, because East Tennessee is kind of broken up by the mountains. You're looking at like roughly half the state, population wise, when you look versus rural, you know what I mean? So you've got a tall order to fill, like in your area, in the whiskey region area, where you got mainly rural areas where you're trying to garner all the interest in the rural areas. That's the same thing we got in the northern volunteer region, you know what I mean? And we're just trying to get support and getting that going on in the rural areas, because that's kind of the hard thing, is that in cities, it's kind of easier to have successful meetings, and that's good. Like, I think it's awesome that we've got what's going on in Montgomery County with Trisha Butler showing up for the Second Amendment down there. I know she worked on some decrim stuff down there. I mean, she's killing it, dude, and that's awesome. And I would like to replicate that here in Campbell County, but it's a very different beast in the political atmosphere and culture that Tom Campbell was talking about. So I know I'm rambling on about it. You're actually a coordinator for what, 4 different counties?
Oh, me?
Yeah, you're the only
Oh
one.
my God, I'm over 13 counties.
13 counties?
13 counties, yeah. There's a couple. So yeah, we haven't gotten to actually have an event in each one yet. We have 2 more that we actually haven't done anything in. But we were talking about it when we're, driving across for the unity tours for Dave before, the state convention. And it was like, if we could get Trisha in like 5 or 6 different places, like not obviously the only Trisha Butler, like we need Trishas all over the state, because she's proactive. She gets out there and just does it, period. Like nothing stops her from going out and doing exactly what she says she's going to do. Legislating, her messaging is on point. Anything that the topics that she brings up, she doesn't bring them up to start anything. She honestly is bringing up topics to kind of gather information, because, okay, am I the only one that looks at it like this? Well, no, we've got all of these people, and she opened up her page to the public. Like, her page is open to her Clarksville constituents. She did that on purpose because she wants to know what they hear. She's the libertarian in office that we need all libertarians in office to be like. As far as I'm concerned, she's exactly who we need.
Absolutely. And, I think that, I guess what the point of what I'm saying is that we need that in all the counties, and we've got to be sure that we're recruiting. We got to just keep moving forward with growing the party, is what I was saying. But yeah, absolutely, we need her. Everything she's she made it a sanctuary city, and for the Second Amendment in Clarksville. Mm-hmm. Is that what she worked on? That she's also worked on some decrim stuff there. I mean, and you've got that message that resonates. Like gauge an interest in our Facebook page. Somebody mentioned getting people elected to city council. Absolutely. And that person's not even a dues paying member yet. We're trying to get that going on there. It's just harder to get that going on in a smaller county. Tyler, what's it like in Arizona with LP in rural areas? Like, what's that like in the atmosphere at all?
Well, to be very fair, most of my work is here in Maricopa County, and this is where a lot of our membership actually resides. Because people hear Arizona, they hear Phoenix or Tucson. They don't really hear about like San Miguel or Whitman or Strawberry or something like that. So, for the rural areas, yeah, there is it's been brought up at a few of the XCOM meetings and stuff like that. It's there are plans because it has become a little lackluster trying to get out to these desert areas and everything where these people are living at the base of those mountain ranges and everything, who are registered state member parties, but they have either lapsed on their membership, or it's just because it's been such a energy draining past couple of years. People have like lost the luster as far as like helping out locally. But we have this new board we elected in January that is doing excellent work. We just went down to Tucson they went down to Tucson, I should say, and had done a lot of outreach there. We've been going to those little hot rod shows that they have, like where they like bring out all the old like classic cars and everything. They've been going out and doing food festivals, everything. Every opportunity we get in these like lesser populated areas, we're taking, and especially like a couple of them have been invitations to come and have a booth and everything, which I think is fantastic. We like it's a struggle, I think, here just as it is up there where you guys are at. I'm actually not really familiar with Campbell County, Tennessee, to be honest. I'm not sure how rural we're talking here. I am from Princeton, West Virginia, though, so I have an idea. So, but yeah, it's difficult, but it's like I think you guys doing what you're doing and like what our XCOM here is doing as far as getting out to the rural and desert areas. It's the prime opportunity. The world's opening back up. People want to be social. People are ready to talk again. Like, some of them you have to like let them know they're not behind a keyboard anymore, but that's for when you have a beer in you. But yeah, that was a bad joke. Thank you, AJ, for the pity laugh.
I got you, babe.
I laughed. My computer's on mute.
Oh, okay. But yeah, no, it's probably similar struggles that you guys are having. It's hard for one, finding the time because we all have full-time jobs, but it's also hard, like, staying on it and keeping it going. But I think with the motivation of human interaction becoming a factor again, like I think it's going to go well, especially in places like Tennessee and everything like that, where people are starting to wake up just how corrupt their state government is. So,
Yeah, I think groups like For All Tennessee, talking to Josh, Justin, and Adam and them over there at For All Tennessee. That's another thing. Like, I think it's awesome. Tell us a little bit about the dinner you're having up, AJ, for All Tennessee coming up.
Warren County is actually very, very lucky to have a renovated, I guess, downtown area. Like, it's so much different than what I grew up with, but they have the fountain and all the different restaurants. One of those restaurants is Collins River Barbecue. It's actually a 2-level restaurant, and the top is, lined with tables, and there's a little stage and whatnot. I called the owner to tell what we were doing. I was like, we're hoping to host this, nonpartisan nonprofit organization that's helping us get our freedom back. And he was like, how many tables do you need? This is great, right? So I talked to Justin, and I'm like, what date will work for you? Well, we've got a lot of things coming up, And I'm like, what would be helpful? Who could I invite that would actually be helpful to you? And he was like, how nonpartisan you want to be? I was like, how nonpartisan do we need to be, buddy? You tell me. And so I reached out to the head of the Republican Party, the head of the Democratic Party here in Warren County, and I also have a member of the Green Party coming as well, so that maybe he can reach out and talk to a little bit of everybody. I'm never going to run for an office. I'm never going to be a politician. I do, however, really enjoy being the person that makes sure that they're all in the same room. Their drinks are full and they're carrying on the important conversations. I'm fine with being that person forever. Like, just let me be the person that puts the important people in the room. Hi.
That is awesome. I think that's going to be a productive meeting too. And hopefully once we get, keep going on, we'll get something like that going on too. Yeah, that's, I mean, transparency, education, and you're just education in your own political system. I think that's a great message for all Tennessee and what Justin Eccles got going on. You know, we've covered quite a bit tonight, guys. Have we had a chance to talk about national here lately? Did we get a chance to cover the new chair elected, or was that on my earlier that we got cut off?
Yeah, I don't know if that was cut off or not.
I think that was cut off. Why don't you give us a rundown of that, Tyler, if you don't care?
So the smoke has been released. The new pope has been selected. It is Whitney Billieu of LP Texas. She is currently, I think she's also, no, she is also the chairwoman of LP Texas. And anybody that's on the Twitterverse or online knows that Texas has some fantastic social media and outreach that it does. But I don't know how their bylaws work, if she'll be able to retain both seats, both national and or state, if there's a stipulation for interim service or anything like that. But I think we're in good hands. I will admit I am not as familiar with Miss Billieu as a lot of others are, but from what my interactions with her just through LP Texas stuff when I lived in Shirts and everything, I can't see anything going horribly wrong. Like, you know, we wake up and like the LP has been split in two again. So no, she's a good one. She's a very active and very hard worker for liberty and the libertarian movement. So she's no nonsense. I think that's one of my other favorite things about her. Like, you're not gonna suck her into like childish drama or anything. So
yeah, you know, that's good. I think that's good. You know, at least a semblance of a united face nationally will look good. I mean, we certainly don't want any more New Hampshire's going down. But, you know, I think, like you said, I mean, she's no nonsense and willing to work with everybody. Because like we talked about earlier, like Tennessee's growing. I'm sure Arizona's growing. You know, you might not have that and I don't think nationally, looking at the election that went down, I don't think that reflects nationally. I don't think we have the growth that we think we're having nationally, just by you look at results alone. But there is interest going on there. So yeah, if she's the type of person, no nonsense, that can, you know, encourage that growth and everything, that's awesome, man. That's good, dude. How about anything else? Anybody else got anything they want to bring up before we wrap it up? We kind of got started late on my behalf since I had the matrix happen and hacked into my computer, whatever went down there, but probably just bad equipment. But what do you guys got? I'm gonna let y'all have the closing word.
There is the murder mystery event in Kingsport this weekend. And there are, I don't know, 15 at least really interesting and active libertarians that will be there, including myself and Tom Arnold. Trisha Butler is supposed to be there, Chris Darnell, the Montressors, and Justin Cornett will be there with Kenna. So y'all look forward to lots of fun pictures and possibly fun stories. I'm not sure yet. It's a murder mystery thing, which is one of the most out of the box events I've ever been to.
It is pretty wild. It kind of threw me off when you mentioned that to me. It's cool.
That's amazing, right? Like I'm so proud of them for having such a unique event. That yeah, like I want everybody to know about it. So there you go. That's what I've got. And a sleepy puppy.
Oh man, she's Louie. Is that Louie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, mine's upstairs. How about you, Tom? You got anything you want to plug in before we go?
Yeah, just for everyone here in Campbell County, Tennessee, check us out on Facebook at our new Facebook page. Just do a search for Libertarian Party, Campbell County TN. Like our page, interact with us, say hello. Shoot me an email at tom.campbell@lptn.org. That's tom.campbell, just like the name, if you see my name in front of you on the Zoom, or just like the county, tom.campbell@lptn.org. We just want to hear from you, say hello, let you know that we're good neighbors, and let you know that, that there are people like you that want all the rights that should belong to all people at all times. You're not alone in that belief. You have other people that are there with you. I'm one of them, Zeb, you're another, and that there are plenty more out there here in Campbell County just like you. And we want to work together for a freer Campbell County, a freer Tennessee, and a freer country that our Constitution promises us. So let's get together on Facebook. Let's get together by email, and let's get together and make liberty real, make freedom real.
Absolutely. You know, just to throw that on there with another Campbell County, and just wants to go get beverages to refresh us on our jam session going on. The total was 1776. You can throw that however you want. I don't care. You know, you put whatever spin, but I'm going to 1776. Leave Tyler Smith with the final award of the after party tonight.
So, no, I don't really have a lot. I love this family. I love what you guys are doing. I'm every time I get done hearing about how you guys are developing it over in Tennessee and then all these other states where I know people are doing excellent work, it makes me proud to know all of you guys. And I want to throw that out there. I know I can't thank AJ enough, actually, because she's actually been a big help on my campaign for national as well. And then doing all that on top of what she does for you all, like, I'm afraid to piss her off. I'm just gonna say that, like, because I know there's a pent up rage that's gonna knock me into next Tuesday if I ever do. So, but no, I think it's awesome what you guys are doing, and seriously, like, keep it up. Like, it's been some dark times the past few weeks, past few months, really, and it's there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We just gotta keep pushing, and I'm happy that you all are here to help keep pushing. So.
Let me ask you this: Do you think the light of the tunnel it's coming sooner than later?
I do. I think these are what it was like what you mentioned earlier. It's growing pains, and that's what's happening. We're getting a lot of people. I am one of those people that may have a problem with purity tests, but I think it's pretty valid that you can't shit on somebody's existence and be a libertarian. But that's just me. Like, that's my purity test.
Well, let me challenge this. Let me challenge this, Tyler. And it's not really a challenge. It's just a perspective, because this is part of being a libertarian, right? This perspective is that maybe they just don't have that perspective yet, because that's part of what we're doing, right? Changing things, because if we have that purity test, we can't grow the party, period. Because you have to understand, they're coming from these two dysfunctional families of the DNC and the GOP that, like, telling them that they can't think this way or they're literally Hitler. Like, both of them, that's their go-to argument for whatever they disagree with is literally Hitler. You know what I mean? So I agree with you though, man. It's weird. I got sucked into that. That's why I disappeared from Facebook for a while, man. Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm more than happy to have a discussion with anybody. Shoot, my inbox is full of people that hated me. And by the end of it, we're like scheduling when I'm going to go grab a drink for them when we're in town. Absolutely. I'm all about, like, I'm down to help. I'm down to helping to go walk through that conversation, but it's like, don't double down and try to hijack my party after you wreck yours. That's where I'm at. Like, you know what I mean? In this, don't in the way that they kind of make a joke here and in Texas, don't California my Arizona. Like, don't Republican my libertarian. Like, you know, or don't Democrat my libertarian. So. I guess it's that kind of perspective that I got, but I have no problem like walking it through and talking with it. But yeah, back to the original part where I get us like stuck into another conversation here. Yeah, so I'm super proud of what you guys are doing, and I thank you for, you know, everything that you do, because it's given me faith after a lot of those people just pulled a mass exodus on us. So it's nice to actually look around and see friendly faces still on the battlefield, as it were. So But yeah, no, and if you want to help people like me and AJ out, because we do a lot of traveling, not just for the campaign, but in terms of helping network activists and getting them all put together. I do have a link that has a legitimate donor platforms and everything like that, you know, that you can go and throw that to, and that goes out to people like her, my comms director, Arizona, Caitlin Cloven, a few of us that are working to actually get activists in contact with each other and start strengthening our base. So, but the link tree is don't laugh or do. That's kind of what was done. But the link tree is first of all, bitch. So it was a gift from a friend over at the Outright organization. So.
That's awesome, man. Well, we appreciate you coming on and talking to us, man. It's always good. You know, Zoom meetings are good. I think in-person meetings are better, but obviously we're in different areas of the state and the country. So appreciate you guys coming on, but I think we're about to sign off here at the after party. Thank everybody out there in Facebook world and YouTube and wherever else you may find us, but we're going to sign off and we'll talk to you the next time.
All right.
Thank you.